I often hear people say that they believe that imagination creates reality. They imagine something, but it never happened. They say they did it. Neville Goddard students also raised these questions with him. To clarify their doubts, he said, "You once imagined it and are not imagining it now. The God's name is I am, not I did." This one line sums it all up for me. But don't worry if you didn't get it. I will elaborate on it in the easiest way possible. Also, if you are someone who is always thinking of ways to influence others, I will tell you the simplest and most effortless way to accomplish your goal. I will give you an example of a specific person. You can use this example as per your situation. In one of the lectures, Neville Goddard asks their students what they are doing. He made no physical action reference, nor did he inquire about their occupations, as the world today does, and you respond, "I am a banker, a business owner, or an influencer." He was referring to what you are imagining. Are you imagining yourself to be a loser or a winner? He did not say what you imagined, but what you are imagining. In simpler terms, he is asking what you are conscious of, since consciousness is the only reality. He asks this because he knows that imagination is God and that imagination creates reality. If you are trying to believe it, then you don't know it yet. You will know it from experience by consciously using your imagination. It does not matter what you imagined in your childhood. What matters is what you are imagining right now, what you are conscious of right now. When you imagine it, it exists. Whatever the human mind can imagine already exists. Back when there were no airplanes, someone stood up and proposed the idea of flying. When people heard him, they said that it was impossible. "You are mad. It does not exist. It is just your imagination." Well, of course, it was just imagination, but man made it possible. As a result, you can't physically touch the $1,000,000 house you want right now. But your imagination will tell whether you can have it or not. It will be imagined first and then manifested. You'll only have control over your imagination. You can use your imagination consciously. If I ask you to imagine a purple toilet paper roll with glitter all over it, you would do it. When you imagine it, it exists. Now, everything that you imagine right now exists. It may not be in your physical experience right now, but it will be discovered if you persist in that imagined scene. The reality you refer to is just an illusion that you create from your mental activity. It is just your imagination playing out. The reality that you are experiencing right now is what you are imagining. So, when you imagined it once and said, "I did it once," it did not appear. When you say, "I did it," and you are not doing it, then you are not imagining it, and whatever you are not conscious of is not your reality. So, if you imagined a stack of money but left that act, you still desired it, and you didn't have the feeling of the wish being fulfilled. Then it simply implies that you still desire it. Desire simply means that you lack it, and when you lack it, you are simply conscious that it does not exist. And since consciousness is the only reality, you don't experience it physically. Now, just replay the last paragraph as many times as you want. It will clarify all your doubts, and also, while writing it, it felt so good, I was inspired to write this. Another point to note is that when you imagine that you may include others, do not think in terms of influence. Rather, think only in terms of clarity of form. To illustrate this, consider the role of a third party in the manifestation of a relationship. You may have heard terms such as third parties or a specific person when you started watching these manifestation videos. Well, a third party is simply something that you consider an obstacle, generally a current acquaintance of your specific person. A specific person is someone you like and with whom you want to manifest a relationship. So, I have seen people who are new to manifestation make this mistake again and again when manifesting a specific person who is with a third party. When they hear it, they try to influence the third party. Their entire focus is diverted towards convincing the third party to leave the specific person or convincing the specific person to leave the third party. This is why it takes a lot of time for their specific person to manifest in their reality. All that was required of them was to imagine the end scene, having their specific person in their arms, telling them that they love them. However, once you realize that everyone is you pushed out and you try to influence some people, which is not the right approach in my opinion. So, whenever you manifest someone, just go to the end state of having them as your partner. It does not matter if they are with someone else. Your attention must flow from the premise of having them as your partner. As you do it, you land in the state of a wish fulfilled, and everyone will play their part to bring this scene of yours to reality. Now, this is not limited to the case of manifesting a specific person only. When you are manifesting a promotion, your mental act must be to imagine yourself already promoted. But people try to influence their competitors. A very funny story came to my mind when typing this. It will give you the utmost clarity. So, there was a race going on, and there were many participants. Out of them, there were two participants named ZX and QW. These two were the top racers, as they had won many races earlier, but they never faced each other on the racetrack. So, the race started, and surprisingly, the guy named HG won. All the people were shocked. And when the interview took place, both CX and QW said that they were competing with each other, while HG stated that he was only concerned with winning the race and not competing with anyone. He saw himself as the winner, whereas the other two saw themselves as competing with each other. Those who understand this will realize that manifestation is not about influencing others, but about simply living from the end. They are automatically influenced by the imagined scene. If you start assuming that you are wealthy, suddenly people will start approaching you with these ideas that can generate wealth for you. You will live in a world where you possess wealth. Things happen. When you start feeling internally like an attractive person, everyone around you will play their part to compliment you and tell you what you believe about yourself. You can assume that you are a well-known celebrity, but that does not mean that other people have to be less popular than you. It is not about winning from another but winning from your past self. There is no one to be changed but yourself. So, start imagining and become aware of having your desire at every moment. Go to the end. Don't think of convincing another to give you what you seek. Just go to the end and hold it in your hands, feel it, and experience it. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Everyone will play their part to make it happen. You don't have to worry about every little thing that is going to happen to make it a reality. You simply have to witness it and believe it to be true. Repetition matters. I hope you learned something useful from this. Subscribe for more such videos. I will meet you with another golden nugget. Happy manifesting.